Man, couldn't be happier to be here. Thank you for everyone who's joining us right now. I would like to welcome you all to Game Beyond the Game presents Talk That Talk, your 21-day transition. I'm your host, Stan Pearson II, looking to navigate this amazing conversation that we're going to have with number one, founder of Game Beyond the Game, Prince Daniels. Prince, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm always blessed, man. Blessed to have another opportunity to be able to hear amazing individuals speak their story, speak their heart, their truth, and their knowledge, man. And we make a difference in the world. It's very simple. So thank you. I'm blessed.
Cool. And I'm really excited. If you've gotten here early, got a chance to listen to us riff a little bit, I'm excited to introduce our guest, Mr. Anthony Hills, who is a former NFL offensive tackle, used to protecting folks. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the fourth round of the 2008 NFL draft and went on to play a long and accomplished 10-year career, including winning a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Arizona Cardinals. That hurts. All right, he played college football at University of Texas and went to the same high school as Prince, which is a great did you know. Hills now invests his time in giving back to his community through the Tony Hills Foundation with the support from his loving wife, Brittany, and sons, Tristan, Tylin, and Tobin, which means Yahweh is great. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, stump your feet, clap your hands for Mr. Anthony Hills, man. How you doing? How you doing?
Tony,
That's what I'm talking about. Yo, Tony, I want to hop right in if you don't mind. So your son, Tobin,
Yeah.
you let us know that early, that it meant Yahweh was great. What's the inspiration, heck, behind all the names of your sons, and certainly that particular name?
Yeah. So Tristan was a name. When I first had him, I didn't want him to be a junior because in my mindset, when I had my first son, I wanted to teach him everything that I possibly could and can, but I wanted him to have his own identity, right? Okay. So that's where Tristan came from. Tylin was a name. And it's funny because it's a name that you don't hear a lot. It's artistic, and that's my artistic son, right? And then Tobin, goodness of God, Elijah, Yahweh is great. That came from just the understanding of, as I continue to research and wanted to find history of who I believe we are, coming into the faith of understanding who Israel is. That's where that name came from. And that kid is me all day. Fiery temper, ready to go, backs down from no man. Little quick story on him. You know how when you scare babies, their natural reaction is to take off running, right? In the opposite direction. When you scare him, he runs at you. So that
really,
and that in itself had me like, whoa, okay, all right, I see what I'm dealing with right here. So it's been amazing to have these three boys, man. I'm so blessed, man.
That's awesome.
It's like you literally spoke their truth into their names and who they are present day. Does it feel that way?
It does. I mean, because Tristan, man, he's the oldest, he's the leader, but man, he's the jokester. He's the one that's always kind of pulling at the strings and getting reactions out of them. But when you need somebody to, like, when you say, hey, Tristan, look, I got to get on a call. I got to handle this business. I need you to hold it down. Man, it's like he flips. He's like, all right, I got you, Dad. All right, Tobin, I'm going to fix you oatmeal. Tylin, I got you. What do you need? I'm going to help. Like, he's always wanting to help. So I can't do it without that young man, man. He's holding it down as my firstborn, for sure.
Oh, congratulations, man. I'm really excited to get this conversation going, especially, because as I understand it, you two kind of know each other. There's some history between, Prince and Tony. What is that history, Prince? What's going on? How do you two know each other?
Oh, man, Tony, we went to the same high school together. Southwest A-Leaf, Texas. Elsick, A-Leaf, Rams, baby.
I said dubs up.
Yeah. So a lot of people sometimes don't know how to pronounce it, and so if you don't know how to pronounce it, you can just say the SWAT, and people already know where you're from. But man, Tony and I, we grew up together from the same area. It's amazing how to see his growth, where he started and where he is now in life. Man, I'll never forget. I always saw insatiable appetite for a kid that was always looking to be great. And his stewardness and his ability to be able to understand the game of football and just understand how to better yourself and be great. A lot of us never really had a tool to know how to get out of our situation. But one of the things that I used to do, my dad used to always teach me about, was visualization and just understanding where you're heading whenever you have a purpose or a goal. And I would be the one always doing my work, going to the gym early in the morning, stand after practice, doing extra drills. And you have somebody like Tony who was like, "Hey, P, what you doing, man? Let me join." And so I didn't have to encourage him to come. He did it on his own. And that's how I knew that he was going to be successful in life, because it's those things that you can't teach, those intangibles that makes him invaluable. After those years, I haven't had a chance to speak to Tony ever since he went to Texas, and then I got drafted to Baltimore. Then he got drafted to the Steelers, and so we were rivals at the same time. So it was really awesome, man, just to see him there on the field, and myself as well. And so now it's coming full circle, and now we're here. So that's our connection. That's how I remember it. So, Tony, if you got another memory,
Tony, what do you remember, Tony? Was he the one chasing you around one to practice? No, tell us, Tony. What do you remember as you grow up?
Usually, I'm the king of colorful stories, bro. I'm the king. But in this situation, the Bible says there's a time and season, so I gotta keep it 100. I gotta keep it a buck, man. PJ, in all actuality, was like a father figure to a young, impressionable mind. And what I mean by that is my father was not around. So everything that I picked up from my environment. Well, PJ was part of my environment. And the thing that I picked up was, man, look, I saw the success that he had. So I went to A-Leaf Middle School. Elsing is right across the street. So we would go to the game. So I remember PJ when I was in middle school, man. So to be able to play with him, I was like, man, bro, that's PJ, bro. That's PJ Daniel, bro. He killing the game right now. But then I found out how he was doing it because I would sit back. I've always been good at observing people and taking the good of things of what they do and implementing that into my life. And then maybe the mistakes that they made, I can learn from it. So I learn from everybody that I'm around. And, big bro, man, I told him when we had this talk, I was like, bro, you remember, and I don't even think he had remembered it till I brought it up. I was like, you remember, bro, you used to train, bro, and you would pull that big ass tractor tire, bro. You would have it wrapped around your waist, bro, and you'd be running sprints. Like, yeah, I said, bro, when you left, I still continued that tradition. And this is the irony of that. PJ would do it, and then I would watch it, and he'd be the only one doing it. And then eventually I started working out with him. But he started out alone. Fast forward 2 years after he goes to college to Georgia Tech, and now I'm a senior. I'm still doing it, but I'm alone, right? And no disrespect to my brothers, man. They was doing their thing. What you gonna do when you're in high school? You gonna holler at girls. You got your car. You doing your thing. But I saw myself in a different light, and I saw that, man. I saw PJ grind and go to a D1 college. I wanted to go to a D1 college, bro. I didn't care what college it was. I wanted to go. And when I saw how PJ worked, it was like, how people can tell you something, but then when you're around an environment and you actually see it coming to fruition, it's like, bro, like I can do that. I can do that. Like I'm grinding just like he grinding. I can do that. And that's what happened, man. So I got to give it back to my brother, man. He held it down for, like I said, a young, impressionable mind, bro. To this day, the lessons of the way I work, there's still a piece of him that's a part of me when I think about the grind. Because he used to always tell me stuff like, hey, man, hard work outworks talent every day. Hard work outworks talent every day. We got to go put this work in, T. Let's go put the work in. And, like, I remember there was one time, I don't think you remember this, bro. It was one time, bro, where I think I had to go to church or something, and you was working out. It was a Wednesday service. I had to go to church, and you was going to work out afterwards. Bro, I was so hot that my mama made me go to church, bro. I'm telling her, I'm like, I'm missing my workout, man. She's like, boy, you yell at me one more time. I'm like, all right. But I was hot because I didn't want to let my brother down, man, and I'm appreciative of that brother, man. So that's pretty much that.
That's awesome, man.
Amazing. So those stories match up, didn't they, for a moment? That's amazing.
Facts. I usually do colorful ones, but I'm going to keep it 100.
Yeah, So what inspired that? So, it seemed as though, Prince ignited something in you, right? And there was
Yeah.
something that, I guess had you open, ready to receive, that vision, that thought, that work ethic. What do you feel like that was? Like, what kept you open to, I want more for me?
Facts. I think like, so my mom, shout out to Mary Lemons, man. My mom is the epitome of grinder, bro. Like, no matter what it is, she gonna make it happen. So I saw what hard work looked like from a female perspective. PJ was one of the first people where I saw it from a male perspective, right? And even though he was only 2 years my senior, like he carried himself in a way there was of class, of dignity. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like before me, man. PJ was the one, all the letters. Everybody wanted to be a part of what he was a part of. He was getting all the love, but you could go up to PJ, no matter if he was some scrawny little kid in the band, if he was in theater, whatever. Like he always made you feel like you were a part of something, right? He wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm that dude, don't touch my jacket. Matter of fact, I spit back there, go wipe it up. He wasn't know none of that, And so I took those lessons, man, and I admired that, and it showed me like, man, you be great, but be great with humility. And he could tell you like I can, man. We've gone to the highest level, man. We done seen some brothers that have some greatness, but they terrible human beings. And at the end of the day, I don't think that we're defined by our job. I think we're defined on what we stand for, and what we believe in. And so those were some of the lessons that I was learning as a kid that I was able to take with me when I went to college.
Amazing. So you mentioned, college and that transition. And obviously, you're at University of Texas. PJ went to, Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that experience in college and carrying that same work ethic now that your brother instilled with you, and taking that to college? And was that tougher to maintain as you approach the transition into even the NFL?
I'll be honest, athletically, not at all. Not at all, because I had already been working. Like I said, PJ already had instilled that mindset in me to work. Where I took that mindset and flipped it was academically, because academically I was challenged. It wasn't that I wasn't, smart enough to understand what was being taught to me. It was just that, being honest, man, the public school system in A-Leaf is not preparing you for the course curriculum at the University of Texas. I'm going to just be real. Had a wonderful time, loved the teachers, but we gonna keep it 100. Like,
we're gonna keep it a buck. They were very nice.
What? The first time I walked, I tell the story every time. The first time I walked into my class, it was a class of over 150 kids in that class. I was the only melanated brother in there, man. So really? Right off the rip, I walked straight out, went to my counselors, like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if it's gonna work. But, it was something she said. She was like, now you know the importance of why you're here and what you mean to people from your community. And that hit me. It hit me hard. So I just took that work ethic, man. I grinded every summer academically. I didn't go back home. I did summer school every year for all 4 years. And I did it because I realized, okay, if I have to do all this catch-up work, if I have to really figure out this stuff, then let me get ahead of the next year by going to summer school. So I would travel back home maybe a week, then I'd go to summer school, and I'd be out there the whole time. Because all my needs was taken care of. I had my own place. I had my own vehicle. Did I have everything I wanted? No, but I was all right. And so I just knew that as long as I stayed focused, something was going to happen.
Now, really quick, for those, elite athletes that are going to come across this, or, just folks who are just living their life, so to speak, but for the elite athletes specifically, what might you tell them, especially those guys that are in college that are definitely going to matriculate into, the NFL or other pro sports arena? Like, what can they do during their college days to ensure a healthier transition in the NFL and out of their professional sport?
Man, it's something that I was very fortunate by being drafted to Pittsburgh, because I tell people all the time, I was around a bunch of grown men. We had dudes that had grandchildren that was playing on the team. You know what I'm saying? I would tell them, man, have a vision and write it down. Period and point blank. Have a vision and write it down. Whatever your vision is, like to what suit you gonna wear, to what round you think you're going, whatever it is, have that vision. and then walk in that vision, right? And then no matter what happens, whether you achieve the goal that you wanted or you fall short, still keep the same vision. The path may be different, but still have that same mentality, that same mindset. And then ultimately, what do you want to be in the league? You know what I mean? Do you want to be the starter? That's the 5-year guy. Like, you know, there's this misconception that everybody come into the league and it's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be a starter for 10 years. You got a lot of people, man, that just love the game and they just want to play. And if starting happens because of that, great. If it don't and they're able to contribute to a team another way, then they fine with that too. These are all the different conversations that I've had. I think that was the shock for me to come to find out. I'm talking to Pro Bowlers and it's like some of them don't even love the game like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're a Pro Bowl player, but I don't really love the game like that. What is it that they love, man? I love the camaraderie. I love, you know, the competition. You know what I mean? But as far as football in the whole, if that was to go, I'd be fine. And so you got to have a vision as an athlete, as a star athlete, of who you want to be. You got to have an understanding of what you want to accomplish, and then have an end goal. That's important. I want to speak on that real quick. Marshawn Lynch brought it out when he was telling the brothers, you know, make sure you counting your chickens. The reason why he said that is because you'll see so many brothers, man, that lose themselves, man. I've read so many articles of brothers that I've played with or that I know because I've been on different teams, that when they retired, man, their life went downhill. And it's because they never had, or if they were cut and they never got an opportunity and they felt like it was taken away from them, they were never able to bounce back from that because they put everything into this and never had an end goal. So have a vision, have an end goal. Those would be the 2 points I made.
Oof. Man, real quick, now I want to come to PJ. Real quick, if you, let's say there's a player like that, because there's some that jumped in my mind just then as you mentioned that. What's one thing right now, if there's a pro athlete, whatever they're playing right now, and it was taken from them, what's one thing you could tell them right now? They're watching this, they're listening to you right now. What would you say to them right now that can help them?
Find your passion. Because a lot of times what happens is we believe that our passion is wrapped up in this game, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's an aspect of the game that's pressing your passion button. So because you don't go out and do anything else, you attach this and say, yeah, football is my life. But that can't be true because you have people that leave that and some of them have more success outside of the game than they did in it. So find what true passion is and then attack that with the same vigor and the same tenacity that you did when you was waking up at 5 a.m. lifting weights, when you was out there with bone bruises and broken arms and torn labrums and all this stuff. Go after your vision that same way, and that's what's going to help you to move on to the next level outside of the game.
That passion button, that's major right there, because that could be super broken down, but that passion button. So I'm gonna, definitely bars all day, every day, B. So PJ, we're gonna go back to the future, so to speak, to those high school days, and you getting a chance to meet Tony. What inspired you to kind of either take Tony on your wing and say, all right, come on, let's work together? What was there in your mind and your heart that was that kind of person, even though you were a big deal, that you saw everyone?
To be totally honest, it was the ability to be able to want to do it yourself. He wanted it himself. He wasn't looking for a handout, and I didn't have to hold his hand. It was just more so, I was like, hey, Tony, let's do this. He wouldn't even ask the reason why are we doing it. He just knew that if I'm going to be great, this is how I'm going to be great. And for me to, like, when you see somebody that's like that, that's the person that you grab and you pull them close, because that's what makes your circle tight.
Prince, what are some final thoughts that you might have, or any final questions you may have as we get close to the end?
I always like to bring it to this serious point. Tony, just make sure whenever you talk or you expound on this one, try not to move except your mouth. No, it keeps. You're too fast for him, baby. You're too fast for him, Tony. All right. So you have 3. How many kids? How many boys do you have?
3.
You have 3 boys. With everything that you know now, with everything that you've been through in life, if you knew that you were going to pass tomorrow, you had to sit your 3 boys down and your wife too, what would you tell them?
Man, that's heavy. That's heavy. I would tell them.
Hold on, time out. Hey, go ahead and cut off, and then come back on and see if it'll work again, man. All right, because it's still choppy.
We're holding it down. Hey, Derek, check him out. Look, he's back like he never left. Looking good.
All right, hey, this got to be better.
Oh man, go ahead.
All right, bet. Hey, we gonna make it happen, bro. We gonna make it happen.
Nice,
hey, y'all just listen. Y'all just got to have a snippet of my life, bro. That's called perseverance, bro. It don't always go like, you know what I'm saying, but we gonna make it happen. You feel me?
You actually wrote that in. You did all that on purpose. I'm on to you.
Shameless plug. Hey, no, PJ, bro, I gotta answer that, bro. Yeah, man. What I would tell him is, remember the lessons that Daddy has taught you. You know what I mean? Honor your mother and your father. You know, I leave behind an avenger, right? You know, be somebody of integrity. To my boys, to my oldest son. You know, now you're the leader now. It's been passed down to you. Take care of your mother. Take care of your brothers. You know, build houses and dwell in them. You know, lift up a nation. You know, be inspiring not only to your family but to those that you encounter. And ultimately, you know, keep the laws and the commandments that the Lord has given you, and everything else will work out. And to my wife, you know, my love for her is always, man, that woman, bruh, no words. No words. We often as husbands don't really take the time to really think about the sacrifices that our wives make. But as a woman, you've had dreams, you've had goals, you've had aspirations, and you say, I'm gonna give all that up because I love this man. And your life turns somewhere totally, it takes you totally different than where you wanted it to go. But because of your love and your sacrifice and your loyalty to this person, you're willing to do it, bro. Women sacrifice so much. And when you have a good one, bruh, I tell my sisters and my nieces and them all the time, I say, you women don't understand the power you have, man. Y'all, historically, I'm a history minor. Historically, women have the opportunity to help build up nations, or they can destroy kingdoms. So you have to decide which power and which spirit you're gonna operate in. And understand you're a queen, man. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to aspire to be, you know, the women that, you know, don't value themselves. You can be a woman of value. And if men don't respect that, then thank God that they've been able to be removed from your life.
Brilliant. And thank you for sharing those thoughts. And thank you for sharing those words with women too, because it's such a unique perspective. And I say unique because sometimes, you know, women may feel like that perspective's missing from a man, and from a man to say it to other men and other women as a reminder of not just who they are, but who we see them as, and sometimes seeing them better than they think that they are seen. But thank you for sharing that big time. Thank you for sharing your family with us as well. That was major. Prince, any final thoughts, questions as we get ready to close out?
So it looks like we have one for the audience, but
for sure, a couple.
A couple, right? Exactly. But my final thoughts is Tony. Man, I love you, brother, and I appreciate what you're doing, who you are, the man that you are, and what you stand for, and what you're doing and the imprint that you're looking to make on this world, man. Like whatever that you need, please, you let us know. You have a voice here. And everyone is going to listen to it, and and everyone is going to open their listens and hear it as well. So thank you for speaking from the heart, man, because like I said, we're going to be changing people's lives one story at a time, you know, all over the world. And it's not just athletes in the United States, it's athletes on the rest of the continents, man. And so we have some work to do. So it's professional athletes everywhere. And so right now what we're doing, we're being the catalyst and that trailblazer to make sure that they understand that we have a community and we're here to grow together and we're here to excel in the game beyond the game, man. So thank you for being who you are, man. And shout out to your brother as well, man, for doing his thing, man. His brother's doing his thing. He grew up with us too, man. Jay Hill, I'm super proud of him, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. You know.
That is amazing. That's awesome. Before I get out of here, I'm just going to read a couple of things from the comment section, make sure you guys know the kind of vibes that have been going on as well. And there have been some great things said about you, Tony, as well. Frederick said, man, you taught us a lot them years we spent together and showed us how to work hard every time we touch the field and hit the weight room. Prince Daniels Jr. Chuck also said, specifically where we come from and other areas as well. So it's really, it's amazing that you guys come on here and mention where you came from and that that's not a bad thing, but understanding that you can also rise above the noise of your situations and then help those who are looking up to you and coming up behind you as well.
A rose out of concrete.
Rose out of concrete, for sure. Daisy absolutely loves what's going on here and wants you to keep up the good work. Doc Duck has a question, really quick, brief question for both of you all. I'll take it. Who's the fastest football player you've ever seen? Someone who just seemed to have another gear. No, he's not talking about myself. Who did you all see professionally play that had that other gear?
That's tough, man.
Man, me, it would be Chris Johnson. It would be Chris Johnson. Who else? Chris Johnson. And just from, I never met him before, but Tyreek Hill, man. I have never seen somebody like that short and compact, but so fast. So fast. Like, he just has another gear. And it's like, whenever you start running, you're like, dig. He is just breezing right past you. It's like, come on, man.
Right. For me, it's going to be, in high school, be honest, it's got to be Ray Miller, bro.
Ray Miller?
Ray Miller. In high school, it got to be Ray Miller, bro.
But we had Ray Miller, Joel, and Martin. But, but Joel said he was faster than Ray.
Man, I don't know. We had to put it to the test. You can't do it now. They old now.
I know.
No. Now's the perfect time to race.
but professionally, for real, yeah, fact. I think I can get them now, boy. Hey, I got time. I got time today, cuz if y'all watching this, I got time. Hamstrings right. You know what I'm saying? No, man, probably Antonio Brown for me, bro. Antonio Brown and Chris Johnson for sure. Jamal Charles. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yes.
Jamal Charles.
Yes.
Collegiately and professionally, Jamal Charles, man. Like, you talking about a back, bro. Man, 2-yard line, 98. Let's go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, blocking for the brother, playing against the brother. Jamal Charles, hands down.
Yeah, Jamal Charles, man. He had that speed. It's just like another level.
Second gear.
That second gear. No, he had a third gear, man. Because some guys, they got a second gear, but then it's those guys that got that third gear. You're like, he fast. It's gonna be a long day.
It's gonna be a long day.
He glides when he runs, bro. Like glides. Like it's like his feet don't touch the ground. Like he run on air. Like, it's crazy. You gotta watch his highlights, man. It's crazy.
Wow.
Check it out. Appreciate that. Hazel Ortega came on and said, hi, y'all. Great job. She enjoyed being here as well. And Frederick is saying, no, Ray Miller still's got it, cuz. I think we got a race on our hands. Tony, you done bit off something. I hope you can shoot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to be faking.
Hey, Ray, I'll take that bet on, man. I'll race you too, man. I get in there, bro. I still got it.
What he don't know is I'm going to put cement in his shoes before he starts.
He don't have to know the truth. He doesn't have to know the truth. Listen, hey, Tony, any final words from you, or how can people learn more about your financial business and what you're doing? How can we learn about you? How can we find you?
Absolutely. Facebook and Instagram, Tony the Tycoon. You can find me on Twitter at A Hills, my last name, A as in Apple, HILLS 84. I'm also on LinkedIn, so you can find me on those platforms.
Amazing. Thank you so very much again. And Frederick has already said he's paying to see that. My Venmo is, no, I'm just kidding. I'll be the producer. I'll make sure everybody gets their take. All right, cool. Appreciate y'all three race who pulls the first hammy. It's great. Now, no one's going to pull a hammy, but in case they did, Doc, you'll be there. Whatever kind of doctor you are, I'm sure you can work on a hammy. I'm sure you got it.
Hey, man, let Ray know I'm ready, baby. I'm like Mike Tyson, getting back to it, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God!
Hey, if Mike can do it, he's got us all inspired. He looked.
Right.
Hey, listen,
Right.
Sorry,
Mike came out. Mike came out and said, "The fighting gods, the fighting gods is with me today. I've gone to the place and found a fountain of youth. I'm ready."
He definitely. Right after this, I'm doing some push-ups. Mike, y'all talking about racing. Mike is back in shape as his 20-year-old self. Let's get our lives together. I'm gonna get mine together. I'm gonna use some touch of gray, get away these grays too.
Shout out to Mike Tyson, baby.
Shout out to Mike Tyson. Maybe we'll have him on at some point. Yes. Man, listen, Tony, thank you so very much for not just sharing yourself and your thoughts, but the thoughts of your family, loved ones, and those who helped you along your journey and being the version of yourself that you are today. And I know it's constantly, steadily improving. So I appreciate your transparency, your story, and the love that you showed while you're here. And we look forward to having you again in the future. So make sure that you all continue, to stay connected with this. If you know professional athletes who have a story that feel like they can benefit from being here, then absolutely forward them interviews like this so they can see how changes and stories happen. And we help those who are coming from behind us and looking to grow ahead of us. And as we also teach those to learn their game beyond the game. So thank you all for being here. Have an amazing day. Thank you, Prince. As always, peace.
Hey, leave Texas, baby. I had to say that, man. Much love. I love you, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.